Greetings, my fellow servants of the God Emperor. It is the Heritor, and welcome back to Rogue Trader. Here we are, back in Lex Imperialis on the lovely world of Thassera, where there's certainly nothing sketchy happening, with nobles stealing faces from the youthful, literally, and some freaky murders happening. You know, just your average feudal world business, where the light of the Emperor does not quite shine so brightly as perhaps it should. And the locals are left to their own devices, which is never a good thing. Never leave anybody to their own devices. Always interfere. Always try and exert your influence over them. And, you know, praise the Emperor. Dawdle. Where were we going? I have no idea. I think we were down here. We checked out this area. There was some stuff. We have our servant here, Maeve, who's a little questionable, but at the very least seems loyal. I still don't trust her. Mostly because I trust nothing on this planet, aside from the beast that I set free, the Cyber Lacerax. I'm gonna assume that thing's gonna do beast-like things. I trust none of the humans here.
Just as he ordained.
Just as he ordained. So we're gonna go up this way. There's apparently some loot that I missed, so this must be the location that we must go to. Also some loot down there. Tavrisk the Sculptor. And we can look around. Let's look around first. Oh, okay, we can look around. Cool. Cool. Don't see anything too out of the ordinary. Oh, some nice little, shanty. Maybe a corpse down there. Nothing too untoward. Guys, if you're enjoying this series, drop this video a like. Helps out a lot in these, trying YouTube times. Okay. So we're gonna talk to the sculptor in just a second, but I love the music. The soundtrack here is amazing. Anyways, Tavrisk the Sculptor. Who are you? The sculptor's mechanical hands crawl over the rough stone, their many-jointed metal fingers remaining in constant motion. Even now, you recognize your own features in the unfinished piece. It seems someone commissioned a statue of you the moment you set foot on the planet. The old man turns his wrinkled face to you. You see crystals where his eyes should be. Is it my celestial lady, or is my celestial lady here to gaze upon her destiny? Alas, my creation is not yet complete. I am here to look at the sculpture. What has my destiny got to do with it? When I sculpt, your celestial highness, I see people's destinies in the forms I create. The visions that come to me shape not only the stone, but the person's fate as well. Your image was indistinct when it appeared before me, and my work is not yet done. What do you wish to behold? There is no embellishment in the old man's words. He shares a special bond with his creations, one that you can sense as clearly as any other breath in the warp. Okay, so this guy's a Psyker as well. Gotta look at him. Is he, I mean, he's got the Aquila and everything, but that doesn't mean anything. Idira clutches her head and wheezes. Be wary when toying with destiny. What gives a boon now will come back to collect later. So may the opposite be true. To harvest sweet fruits in the future, one must first drink one's fill of bitter things. Watch your words. We're not going to worry about the future. All that I am accomplishing in the present. The sculptor's hands scuttle over the stone like huge metal spiders. Somehow his sightless gaze perceives exactly those details of your appearance that you are most proud of. Your destiny will soon be complete, my lady. I will have it delivered to your celestial vessel. That could be taken as a threat. Maybe this is some sort of warp bomb. I don't know. There's definitely some Zinchi. You know, what's all this blue stuff back here you got going on? What are the crystals in your eyes, huh? We have gained the Glory So Far effect. Your very life's path has been carved into stone. One who lives in the present, but has no reason to fear the future. But sooner or later, the future catches up with everyone. Increases the character's fellowship until the end of the mission on Thassera. That's cool. Who are you? A humble creator. The governor's first sculptor, Tavrisk, who has the honor of shaping the destinies of others, but not his own. Tavrisk, the sculptor, turns his head to you, but you see no pupils in his crystal ocular augmentics. I do not understand. Are you a Psyker?
My Lord Governor calls me a foreteller and creator. Others a wicked sorcerer. But there is no cause for concern. My abilities are sanctioned, and I am pure before the Emperor's celestial eye.
He gestures at the tubes on the back of his head as if to prove the truth of his words. Okay, he could be telling the truth. He could also be lying. Tubes on the back of your head does not mean you're sanctioned. Sanctioned do have tubes on the back of their head, but, well. What can you tell me about this material you are working with?
This is Thassera, a fascinating stone born from the bowels of this planet. Like any other kind, it bends and melts beneath the sculptor's tool. But for the sculpture to come to life in earnest, they must put their very soul into it.
One of his hands emerges from behind the statue and gently touches his head, seemingly of its own volition.
The soul, however, contains calluses the more the sculptor works, and mine has long since become covered in scabs.
Interesting. The blue veins of the statue flare faintly before your gaze. The stone undoubtedly possesses psi-focus properties, allowing the old man to concentrate warp energies in to amplify them. Yeah, a material or device that focuses and amplifies psychic power. Okay, so there's some sort of psychic bedrock here in the planet. God, what was that? Was it an Eisenhorn? It was part of the Eisenhorn story where there's like this asteroid out in space, and there was this rock inside the asteroid called the Lith, which was sentient, and started communicating with all of the miners and driving everyone insane. I don't know. I'm getting vibes. Also, was that not what they had on the prison planet in the first system you go to, the opening act? Were they not mining something up from the ground that was a bit weird? Didn't the warden find something? He dug something up and then it drove him insane? Are we, Because that... I don't know if that was related... No, it was related to the Final Dawn, I think. It might have been that it just gave psychic, like, reactions and they saw the Final Dawn. They might not be direct cultists of the Final Dawn, but rather be linked into it because of what they did. Not directly controlled by a prophet, but I might be wrong on that. Aurora may have been active on the prison planet. But I don't know. I'm sensing a connection.
Lord Captain, all that about the soul, that wasn't a metaphor, you know. This one channels his own mind through the stone and then sees what comes of it. You should be careful around this sorcerer. I don't like how my whispers have taken a fancy to him.
Yeah. Your hand augmentics are most impressive. Such implants are impossible to come by on a feudal world. Where are you from?
Lord Rualdo had my limbs replaced before he took me from my home planet. It was so long ago, I have since forgotten what my land is like to the touch.
Yeah, Lord Rualdo was an off-worlder. I wonder if there's a connection to the cultists on the planet that Argenta found... Well, that Argenta had the thing on. We haven't found that planet yet, by the way. But it seems like maybe the cultists of the Final Dawn might have originated from there, and I gotta wonder. Is that gonna be Epitaph? I'm just making some theories here. It'll be very cool if I'm right, but I'm assuming I'm probably not gonna be right. The sculptor's mechanical arms are pierced by sticky tubes, and the elbow joints have all been worn down. It must have been a decade since these implants were last serviced. Such neglect often poses a serious threat to a person's life, and yet the old man's skin looks relatively healthy in the spots where flesh and metal meet. The man appears to belong to a rare variety of Psykers, biomancers, capable of recovering even from otherwise deadly wounds and diseases. Okay, I would have had him, I would have guessed that he would have been a diviner, but, interesting. Maybe he's a hybrid discipline, that's possible.
Did you capture the governor's destiny in sculpture too?
His mouth stretches into a cryptic smile.
I have made thousands of statues for Rualdo, but Thassera's stone flesh can never seem to sate his great ambitions.
Very concerning. The old sculptor once more returns his unseeing gaze to the patterns in the stone before him. Okay. I have a bad feeling about this. I have a bad feeling about everything on this planet.
I always keep my options open.
Organ grinder servitor. Fiddler servitor, drummer servitor, piper servitor, lyre playing servitor. Okay. You just had to call it organ grinder, not organ player, huh? Alright. Sure. Various pieces. What do we got here? The tables are overflowing with rare and peculiar food. There is enough of it to easily feed dozens of hungry mouths, but the servants are unlikely to get even a morsel of the feast, of course. So this is just the aristocrats, I would reckon. Yeah. There's more going on down here. Okay. You notice a veritable mountain of leftovers under the table. The guests have been tossing scraps onto the floor without thought. Typical decadence. Tiny lice are hopping around the gilded plate. The lady squashes the insects with a small golden hammer, only for more of them to drop from her coiffed hair into her food. Dear God. Truly a den of filth. Sorry, dear Emperor. Who's this god fellow? No idea.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
Well, we could go that way. Oh, we even have a save here, which pauses the audio. That's new. Didn't used to do that. Never mind. Maybe the music just stopped. It's taking its sweet time. Probably have too many saves. Should maybe do something about it. Or it's loading a cutscene. Oh boy, it's an Iron Maiden. A giant one. Fun fact, the Iron Maiden was not actually a torture device. It was invented, I think, in the 1800s to look like a medieval torture device. Specifically for exhibits. Which is, funny. You see a man with a cruel grimace on his face, and hands disfigured with burn marks. Behind him stands a ghastly-looking mechanism adorned with a polished skull of gigantic proportions. The eye sockets, their edges melted, gaze darkly at the crowd with the promise of inevitable punishment. The man, clearly the executioner, bows his head.
The very messengers of the sky have come to decide our fate. We are honored, your celestial highness.
Who are you?
I am Tadua the Scorched, a slaughterman of the 5th generation and a humble disciple of the Iron Saint you see before you, your celestial highness.
The Iron Saint. Lovely.
Master Tadua knows no mercy, and his hand is unfailingly firm in the sacred cause of administering justice.
Maeve is careful to keep her posture straight, but her frightened gaze is deliberately averted from both the executioner and the mechanism behind him. Maybe she is innocent. The pendant, the blue pendant's suspicious, though. What is that structure?
The instrument of the punished is a personification of great Thesmophorius the Martyred, who accomplished the legendary feat of slaying 300 heretics. As is glorious tradition, all mutants who affront the Emperor's gaze and stain the face of Thassera must enter the Saint's iron furnace. Whenever justice is served, hundreds flocked to the Thesmophorius, eager to witness the magnificent spectacle. You have just confessed that your semblance of justice serves not as a demonstration of lawful authority and deterrence to your subjects, but as entertainment.
Solomorn utters the last word with disgust, as if there could be no foul or profanity. I'm with you, Solomorn. I'm with you.
Who is inside right now? Another heretic who violated the holy laws of Thassera. And since his body is already turning to ash, such will be the fate of his name as well, to be scattered to the winds, that it may never again defile the lips of any who live upon our sacred world.
Never again defile the lips. Maeve looks ready to faint. She seems both terrified and nauseated by the sacred rite that has drawn so many onlookers. Interesting. She has a very peculiar reaction to this. And weird choice of words here. Everything about her is a bit odd. A little bit off. You could go either way with this character. Governor, super sketch. Basically everybody else here. Except for maybe the Jester. I don't know. The Jester might be the only legit character, but he's probably also incredibly corrupted.
The law of the Imperium punishes those who deserve it. Was the last... What? No. Was that the last of the accused for the day? That was but one of the first bodies to stoke the Thesmophorius. It's going to be a lot busier now.
As if to confirm the man's words, the fire-breathing saint expels a puff of acrid smoke.
While the guilty are being reduced to ashes, let us meet the next participants in our performance.
Sorry. I can't speak. Okay. You even look like an aristocrat. 2 people, or something resembling people, are pushed onto the stage. They are mutants, hideous parodies of humanity forever tainted by the imperfections of the flesh. One of them is dressed in stained yet expensive clothes. The other wears a tattered uniform of the local guards. Okay. So, are we suggesting that these were mutants disguising as people of these various vocations? Or that these were just regular people that have succumbed to mutation? Guess we'll find out.
Your Celestial Highness, behold two loathsome heretics who blemish the very face of Thassera with their existence.
Tadua chuckles, but his sneer is completely devoid of mirth.
The degree of their guilt may vary, but they both deserve to enter the blazing bowels of the Thesmophorius for the worst of their transgressions, distorting the sacred face of humanity. But since fate has graced us with such lofty visitors, I eagerly cede the right to punish these miscreants to you, your Celestial Highness.
Contrary to his honeyed words, the executioner's voice betrays his poorly concealed displeasure. What exactly are these heretics guilty of? Padua smiles maliciously.
Is the mere existence of this awful not enough? However, if your Celestial Highness wishes to explore the depths of their depravity, then you may become today's judge. The sentenced stand before you. Tell us when you are done with the questioning and are prepared to deliver the verdict.
Oh, here he is again. Bluff. The fool's voice pipes over the crowd.
What an unexpected twist! Who better to judge the filth of Thassera than a stranger who just fell on our heads?
What was the opulently dressed mutant's crime?
Ah, rotten stain upon the noble families. He was hiding in his manner to conceal his deformities, but had trouble keeping his mouth shut, proliferating filths in tracts that he later sent out with his servants. He declared the choice of one's own fate to be slavery. Cast aspersions on the very traditions of the world, was insolent, swore profanely, condemned those who had chosen a new destiny. Luckily, he has no heirs, and today this cursed bloodline shall be put to rest once and for all.
The richly garbed mutant moans something. You notice stitches on his disfigured face. Zealous servants were evidently in a hurry to silence the condemned man. Early ensued his twisted mouth shut. Okay. So he's a free thinker, basically, that just happens to be a mutant. I mean, okay, there is the chaos corruption. The free thought can lead to chaotic ideas being incepted into one's mind. So I don't know. Yeah. What did the man in the guard uniform do?
A thief, a brigand, and a murderer. There is no way to list all the crimes lying upon this freak's conscience. However, his willingness to change his destiny against all odds merits this mutant at least some honor. Despite his feeble-mindedness and simplicity, he had enough sense to obscure his countenance with hoods and helmets until he made his way from beggar to guard. It was not before his excessive passion for fighting and stabbing gave him away.
The mutant utters a foul curse under his breath, then immediately gives you a frightened look and falls silent. The mere sight of the celestial lady seems to instill a reverent awe in the common denizens of Thassera. You praise the lowborn mutant despite the vicious acts he has committed.
They are both mutants, and have thereby violated his law. Yet, when one finds a spark of nobility in an abject commoner, one cannot help but feel a grain of respect for them. This heretic may be of low birth, but he does not flout the values of Thassera the way the nobleman does, and thus honors our traditions and his will. Born into the rabble, he applied all his abilities and skills, defied the restraints placed upon him, and crushed those who stood in his path, all in order to forge a new destiny for himself. Freedom to change destiny,
Solomon repeats slowly, with an undertone of utter disbelief at what he is hearing.
Even you, a degenerate, should know that everyone has their place in the God Emperor's plan from birth, and that any attempt to change that is a violation of his will.
I'm going to disagree with you on that one.
Even on a planet forgotten by all, humanity continues to seek freedom and to honor the Emperor in their own way.
Sighing, Jai turns to you.
Humans need to believe in something in order to live, and a better destiny. Who among us has never dreamt of that?
I'm with you on that one. But I'm interested in this.
What do you say, Maeve? Which of these two deserves to die?
Maeve darts Maeve's gaze darts fearfully around, while visibly avoiding the doomed mutants on the platform.
I am of too low birth to take on the burden of being a judge, my celestial lady. I'm ready to announce my decision. The word of the distinguished guest is law. We are all trembling with anticipation.
Maeve seems to have reined in the emotions that were overtaking her, and she casts a timid glance at you as she awaits the verdict. I want to quickly read over the nobleman again. A rotten stain upon the noble families, he was hiding in his manner to conceal his deformities, but had trouble keeping his mouth shut, proliferating filth in tracts that he later sent out with his servants. He declared the choice of one's own fate to be slavery. Cast aspersions on the very traditions of the world, was insolent, swore profanely, and condemned those who had chosen a new destiny. He sounds like a bit of a dickhead, to be honest. So, not a free thinker at all. I was wrong. I misread that. I'm glad I reread it. This guy was a murderer. God, I know I'm usually the merciful iconoclast. And sure, while he was attempting to better his own destiny, he was... Let's see. Thief, brigand, and murderer. Let them both burn. Let them both burn.
I knew your blood runs hot, your celestial highness. Let us stoke up the great Phasmophorius. Oh, the stove is burning hot today. Warm yourselves, my good fellows, for the celestial lady is feeling generous.
In you go. Normally we're merciful, but, they just go in willingly. I guess they know it's, better not to try. We might have some more to judge, I don't know. Having taken your plentiful offerings to its gut, the Phasmophorius roars and billows out smoke. Spurred by the cruel spectacle, the crowd around you begins humming to the beat of the execution device. Within that noise, you hear the sound of hungry anticipation.
And now, my favorite word, next.
Great. Okay, we only have one this time. What's this guy's deal? A pale, bony creature, barely able to move its legs, enters the stage. In place of a mask, it turns its horrific medley of features towards the world. This ugliness, however, is nothing like that of the previous convicts. The thin, squeamishly twisted mouth is fused to its cheekbones. Malicious eyes peer into the crowd from under hideous folds of skin. The face of this heretic appears to have melted and congealed. I wonder if this is actually just a wound rather than a mutation. Then again, you do have a little bit of a weird arm and a weird foot there, which is probably not a result of melting. What is this heretic guilty of? The executioner does not answer right away, but makes you wait for a moment.
His crime is more grievous than any this scaffold has ever seen. He was granted a new destiny, but chose to defy it. He turned away the greatest gift that can be offered to the loyal sons and daughters of Thassera.
Oh, he was gonna offer up his face, wasn't he? The wretched man's gaze drifts over the crowd until his piercing gaze meets yours. His head twitches, his face contorting in a monstrous grimace. Shut up! Shut up before it gets in! He whispers in a sudden frenzy.
I won't give up! I won't give it up! I won't! Oh, no, no, no. We didn't come here for you to stay quiet. Squeal now and squeal louder.
The crowd takes up the fool's outburst and begins demanding more screams. Kibella whispers without taking her eyes off the condemned man.
You are not the master of your own shadow. The shadows reign over you. You are alone while they are many. But why?
Interesting.
A windowless, doorless house.
Idira is standing still, her eyes glassy.
The master is gone, and only the beast remains.
Where's that blasted court fool? You glance around the crowd, and suddenly you see the fool prancing and flitting among the gawkers, clearly trying not to be spotted by you. We could shoot him for his insolence? Because the court fool wanted him to scream louder.
You need not hide yourself so carefully. I am not one to punish a born fool.
Laughter bubbles up from the crowd. The audience appreciates your gracious yet mocking remark. The fool makes an angry sound and flees to the crackling of bystanders.
Thank you, my celestial lady.
Maeve's voice is barely audible. She smiles at you in a small, sad way. Interesting. So the fool was making her very uneasy. What happened to his face? Is he another mutant?
Thasserian fever. You need not worry, your celestial highness. It is not contagious.
Oh boy. What's up with this guy? He's being puppeted by something. He's not in control of his own destiny. Enough deaths. Let him go. As Tadua opens his mouth to say something, the convict takes a step on his clumsy, spindly legs, and then another one. The face! The face! Pretty, strong, shining! A gnarled claw points directly at you.
Give it here! Give it to me now instead of the one I bear! Take mine! It's not mine! Take it! Take it!
Did he just rip his own face off? Oh god. The madman raises his crooked fingers to his face and sinks his nails into his sagging flesh. Shrieking with what sounds like relief, he tears off a piece of his cheek, and then another, and then one more. Falling to his knees, he frantically scratches his own eyes out, smearing blood and clear ichor across his face before collapsing dead on the platform. A sudden rumble draws your attention, like a rockfall tumbling down a slope. The thudding feet and mad screams overwhelm you. After a moment, you see the source of the commotion. A throng of mutants is charging straight at you. Okay. Interesting. How many do we got? Yeah, there were a lot of them back there. Action.
You will beg for mercy.
Action time.
And I will grant.
Oh, Tadua's
none.
dead. No, he's just injured. He's not dead. Okay. That one's pretty dead. Trembling mutant. Alright, they've got a little bit of health. What is happening? Thasserium buboes. Bloated with Thasserium. It's this fucking mineral. Yeah, I knew it. This shit's doing something to people. The creature's body is about to burst. It runs to the target and blows up. Okay. This creature's body is covered with blisters and bumps. Its limbs unnaturally transformed. Okay. And Thasserian fever. The creature's flesh sparkles with Thasserium dust, increasing its strength by 25. Okay, so when it dies, it'll deal, warp damage to all non-mutants. Interesting. So it's this substance. This whole planet's screwed. We might need to do another Exterminatus. It's kind of where I'm leading towards. Maybe not. Gotta wonder with, where's Maeve? Did she run off? Hopefully she's somewhere safe. Probably. I don't know if, she's actually, like, nice or not. Guess we'll find out. We can already put them, up here. So I wonder, can we then... Yes, Glyto will, have his... Yeah, so his starting point is always just one away. Cool stuff. I'll put Jai back here. We're gonna do a full flank overload. No, we've got to have somebody on this side. So we'll do Jai there. That's an officer. I'm an officer, so I'll go here. We'll have Pascalby back here. We might put him in front, too. Maybe not. We'll have a Psyker on this side, and we'll have a frontliner on this side as well, which will be Cabela. Alright. I think we'll be fine. This is a bit of a lower level encounter, so we should be okay. So we're gonna actually drop a backline right here.
I'll see to it personally.
Okay. All about Locust
I'll
stratagem.
make it happen.
This kill zone stratagem. We're not gonna have any enemies in here, so I'm not gonna worry about that. Okay. then we're just gonna do some funny business here. So let's that was the wrong spell. I always get these two mixed up. First off, the warp is not doing so good. We'll drop a well, that happened. Cabela's still up. That's good. Alright, well, that was unfortunate. Who's that? It's a random knight.
I am your blade and shield.
So, let's see here. What can we do? We got to,
The
Reckless
shadows
Abandon.
will see it done.
Exsanguination. So we could do... let's see here. If we do a sweep here, we won't
As
hit the
on
knight.
a
They'll both be down.
The
Okay.
other side
We did hit the knight regardless. That was not my intention. And you'll jump up this way.
My blade
Kill them.
whispers
Oh, because
your
one of the guys
name.
exploded, of course. That makes sense. We'll jump to here.
I shall not fail.
Okay, so the other one exploded there.
Pleasure.
Let me, get to here. We
As
sure
the
can.
tenants demand.
Okay, so we're here now. Seems good. I think she'll be okay. I've got 2 action points left, so I could use Lightning Arc with my sword. It's a heroic act. No, it's not. No, you can also just use Lightning Arc as an ability. That's sick. But that's a psychic ability, right? Yeah. I think. Looks like a psychic ability. So in that case, I might just shoot one of them. What's the hit chance here? 43%? Or we shoot with the burst fire this way? 58%?
On it.
Wow. That was fun.
I'll see to it personally.
Forewarning. Okay. I'm gonna drop a blitz stratagem
good
just
as
in case we
done.
need to get people from the other side over here. Anybody can get back in the fight? Unfortunately, get back in the fight doesn't make people stand up. I feel like it should do that. That'd be pretty cool. Let's enter. All right. Mind is shielding. They're just providing a line. Now it's Kibella's actual turn. So we're gonna go here. And, I can't target. Hold on. If I go back then I can. Parry, that's fine. So then I can do this here.
Come.
Kill all
The
of these
other
guys.
side
Well,
awaits.
almost all of them. And we can, jump on over here.
As honor ordains.
Kill them. That Kibella's a monster. Hit that one. Can we do it again? We cannot. We might, Dance Macabre into the middle here.
shadows will see it done.
And then we'll quickly do a blade dance.
Trust. Let your
One down.
death is a blessing.
Down. Then we can jump on over here. And jump on into there.
Caught by the web.
And then we can use acrobatic
As
artistry.
the tenets demand. Let your soul be purged.
Alright. Kibella's awesome. Alright.
Trust me. Come. The other side awaits.
Alright. What happened there? Yeah, so she just used her blade ward. Okay. So, Idira needs to use psychic powers. The problem is we're in a bit of a dangerous position. So we do have our bird. Vesper here. Let me move these down, because these are the, these abilities. We'll keep the, one there. Relocate. Dominate. Alright. So we could throw that Right up that way. Okay. And then what we can do is... We want the psychic powers up here. That's Mind Rupture. Mind Bond. And Psychic Assault. Stabilize we don't need. We've already relocated. Move relocated down to here. So we can do a Purification Discharge.
Quiet, Whispers. It's my toy, and I'm gonna control it myself.
Evil Eye. Sick. Okay. I will now...
But of course.
Psychic Shriek that one. And, I don't think there's much else we can do with this, so... What I will do instead is drop a forewarning on Glyto. And so we could do Overcharge. We don't need to do that. So we will not do that. That's the end of our turn. Okay, Solomorn. Alright. So we can have the Doge just bite that guy right there, I think.
Glyto, we're undertaking this task.
Get him. That's the Trembling Mutant. He's got more health than the others. Alright, so he is now being not
Let's
upon.
test our skills,
We'll
Glyto.
do it again. He's gonna bite the guy a second time. And then, we should have done these other things. I need to, I want to have this specifically be after these two abilities, because that's Dash, that's one of his abilities. So yeah, we want that there. Torrent of Fury. Okay. Revel in Slaughter, yeah, we want that there. And we'll put these abilities down here. That's Battle Mode Standby, we'll keep this separate. And then, of course, Reactivate and Advanced Tracking. Alright. I should have used these first, but I forgot. I could still do that, actually. So we could use Advanced Tracking.
One of us would be enough.
And then we could also drop...
Glyto, we're undertaking this task.
And then we can just have Glyto get
Let's
this guy
test
now.
our skills, Glyto.
Glyto, sorry. Alright, so he's very, very dead. And that's our turn. Lovely stuff. Oh, that's Shield Bash. Yeah. Okay, end turn.
Your end was inevitable.
He died. Pascal's getting up. Jai's turn. Let's get Jai in there. I don't think we need to worry about momentum. So what I'm going to do instead is run on over here. We will drop a assign objective
I can do that.
onto a
With
Trembling
the right
Mutant.
incentive.
Finish the job. Never mind. We'll shoot him with the blaster. And then what we can do is orchestrated firestorm
Wanna
on
see
this
a
guy.
trick?
And he's gone. Alright. Oh, man. Okay, what else can we do? We can do move on,
You've got a
Solomon?
problem? I've got a prize.
we can have him run on over here.
Mark the target.
Okay. And, I mean,
Guilty.
firearm mastery.
One less.
Now they're dead. Okay.
Your Celestial Highness, apologies for my late arrival. I wasted a great deal of time in idle squabbles with that oaf of a treasurer, as he was looking for the shipment chronicle. I only heard about the attack after it had already begun. And the elevator might as well not have been moving at all. It was so slow.
Oh, yeah.
The treasurer, the elevator. Who are you going to blame next, Governor? Are you the ruler of this world or a casual onlooker? You will take measures immediately and restore order, or I will conclude that you are sabotaging the rogue trader's visit, either by intent or simply due to your own ineptness.
The governor babbles in fear.
I never thought. He takes a deep breath. The culprits, of course, the culprits will face execution post-haste, my celestial lady.
I survey the square. An oppressive silence hangs over the previously bustling plaza. The people are taking in the carnage, clearly avoiding looking at you, but still catching your every word. You notice Maeve standing nearby, gazing around her with horror in her eyes. Okay, I'm beginning to suspect maybe she's not bad. She might be under the influence of something, though.
Find those responsible and bring them to me. The condemned mutants broke loose and attacked the townsfolk. It has been a long, long time since anything like this happened, Your Celestial Highness. They must have sniffed out that today's a special day.
The executioner's lip curls, split by a blow during the fight.
The commander was responsible for guarding them. He got careless.
Commander Lucra, his armor rattling, one of the knights steps forward.
I am Lucra, commander of the fortress. I can attest that the ungodly mutants were restrained properly. It's the Phasmophorius. The smoke whipped the brutes into a frenzy.
Yeah, I mean, we can't really know based on the information we have. I think I'm gonna hit the governor.
If it were not for the tithe, you would be the one facing execution.
The governor staggers back from the blow, barely managing to stay on his feet. A trickle of blood runs down his lip, and he spits out a few rotten teeth on the stones.
Thank you, Your Celestial Highness. I will never forget the lesson taught to me by the Emperor's own anointed.
Okay, we have to do this either way.
So it is either the commander or the executioner, is it? Then I shall now make my decision. My celestial lady, I swear on my life that my knights and I did everything we could to keep you safe. Who could have foreseen that the Phasmophorius, after gorging itself on miscreants, would start driving the mutants mad with its smoke? Lies! The Phasmophorius does not taunt heretics, it fills them with terror. To shift the blame for your own failure onto a sacred weapon of justice is a heinous crime in and of itself.
I don't know who's guilty. There's not enough evidence to point directly towards either one.
There's been enough death. I will order no executions.
The commander and the executioner stop their bickering and turn their eyes to you in astonishment. They quickly recover, however, and offer you their deepest bows, maintaining a solemn silence.
You are our savior today, Your Lady Highness, and in gratitude please accept this personalized sword from my treasury. Fatebringer once decided the outcome of one of our feuds. It killed a rebel leader, and peace has reigned on the planet ever since.
It's a low-level sword. It's not very good. Attempted bribery. We're gonna be super harsh on him. I don't want the sword, to be honest.
Solomon, make note of this attempted bribery. I have no need of your gifts, Roaldo. Done. Continue in this vein, Governor, and your punishment won't be long in coming. Emperor forfend that I tried to bribe you, Your Celestial Highness. The thought never even occurred to me. Forgive me most graciously.
The governor bows at your feet. Look at Maeve. After putting herself in order, Maeve catches your eye and looks away shyly. Her lip bears a poorly concealed smile of relief. Okay, relief at what? That we didn't execute one of them? That... Is she relieved that we're blaming the governor? I'm still confused.
It appears your celebration is over, Governor. Not in the least. I will not let some beasts ruin everything we have worked so hard to prepare. I suggest we distance ourselves from this place and return to our corner of revelry and peace. By your leave, I will be waiting for you at the head table. Your oh God, Emperor, gives me strength.
Swallowing noisily, the governor hurriedly departs the scene of the slaughter. Sorry.
It amazes me that that idiot just underpaid the tithe and did not somehow lose the whole planet as well.
Solomon pauses, pensively watching the governor leave.
Fine, a feast it is. I'm sick of the stench of burnt meat. Let's try a change of scenery.
Her face pale, Maeve raises a hand.
My celestial lady, it is only a few steps away. The noble lords are already lifting their glasses in the Savior's honor, awaiting your arrival. Shall we proceed?
No, we don't get to loot the dead? Maybe. There's probably... Oh, no, we do. Okay. There's probably nothing of value here, but in case there is...
Is there money to be made?
And I think there was also some other... some boxes of loot here. And a Glyto thing we can do.
A job for me.
Okay. What can he do? Oh, look at that. I feel like we could have done that ourselves. What kind of shield? Radiant shield. If we compare that to his shield. Oh, that's kind of cool. 1 deflection and 6 parry is pretty good, though. Their incoming energy, fire, and shock damage are reduced by 35%. It's very good. I'll keep it. It's kind of cool. Always give it to somebody else.
I always have a backup
I'm gonna
plan.
quickly run on over here. There's definitely some stuff here. You already read that? Yeah. What about here? It does not escape your notice that a few leftovers from the plates disappear into a servant's filthy apron. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. The enormous gate is locked fast. We can fix a lifter here. We can open this up.
My pleasure.
Armor of Iron Will. Don't think it's very good.
Let us not dawdle.
Fix the lifter.
And done.
So we could go back down. This is to the place where we entered, right? I believe so. Yeah, that's our void ship. Actually, I'm not sure if we've been down here. Let's quickly go down here.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
I think we've done everything, but it may have been that we were blocked off from going down here, but I think we did. Yeah. Alright, let's just go back up. It's just a shortcut unlocked, in case that's relevant. I guess it is, to get back to the ship. Let's get back on there. Okay. I will say, this planet is fun. I'm digging the mystery. Oh, there's Governor Rualdo and Gara. So I guess his beast.
Rise to the top.
Oh,
or
we're
get left
actually
in the
out here.
dust.
Yeah, here's this fucking stuff again. That's a little concerning. I'm actually going to talk to the cupbearer. Dark maroon amasec is pouring from the ridiculously gaudy fountain. An eager cupbearer hands you a goblet filled to the brim.
Have a taste, if you please, milady. The vintage has been maturing ever since we laid the cornerstone of our citadel. We tapped it to celebrate you.
And the vintage is coming from this freaky substance. Let's get some information.
Do you always have amasec flowing from that fountain? By no means. Such frivolous excess would impede us in carrying out our burdens of service to the Emperor. It is only on truly great days, such as today, that the fountain pours forth this noble beverage. Besides, even the sturdiest of servants could not work the pump for days on end.
The pump.
Naturally, my celestial lady, it requires the grueling labor of dozens of sturdy workers to create an upward movement of the liquid in the pipes. It is a most useful contraption.
I prefer to keep my mind clear.
I dare not protest. Should you change your mind, I am always at your service. I'm this close to falling over. Or maybe I already have.
I'm just very concerned about this bluish mineral, the Thassera. That's the source of the mutations. And now they're, like, pouring it out of stuff here. Okay, feudal sword. Very cool. No hardened shield. I mean, we don't need these, to be fair. It's all super low-level stuff. Right? Yeah, no, that's pretty terrible. Knights are guarding the stuff there. Quickly check. Should be more of these. Yeah. Hey, it's
I
cargo.
always keep my options open.
I was hoping this guy would have something interesting, but apparently not. Let's talk to the governor. We have Gara there. The governor's hand reaches for the amasec, but flinches under your gaze and abruptly changes trajectory towards the appetizers. Today is a very nervous day, Your Celestial Highness, and when I feel nervous, I eat and drink and eat again. That is just the way I am. But Emperor, have mercy, the food today is to die for. Would you like to have some? I recommend you try the fried alcedont, whose horns were still goring my hunters just the other day. And here we have some five-tailed shrimperiuses in stewed black-eye sauce. These fellows need to be eaten quickly before they scurry off the plate. As for the side dishes, you simply must have a taste of these crispy blabberid shells seasoned with blue glut. The spice scorches your tongue, but follow it with some amasec and it will feel like the waters of life itself. Thank you. Thank you, I am not hungry. I feel it in my heart that we have failed to please you. And of course, there were those freaks running wild. This entire celebration, this whole endeavor has been a tremendous waste. The last words fade into an incoherent mutter as the man's trembling hand reaches for the amasec. My lord, remember what the physician told you. Temperance is the best cure for your ailments. I fear that you have disobeyed his wishes again today. Interesting that she's able to just say that. And now I am paying for it with a compromised sense of balance and a regrettable inability to admire the disguised imposters. And the hunt is already in full swing. Solomon leans over to you. Rogue Trader, once you've had your fill of the governor, let me ask him a few questions. What is this hunt you mentioned? Roldo waves a hand at Maeve. Be darling and tell our guest about our amusements. I am a little exhausted. Of course, my lord. The imposter hunt takes place every moonlife. Shortly before the event, the servants are thoroughly cleansed of dirt and foulness, combed, dressed in expensive clothes and masks, and invited into the courtyard with the rest of the guests. The nobles hide their faces as well, and then try to guess who the imposters are. Telling one from the other is quite a challenge sometimes. The governor suddenly perks up again. And that is the best part! I highly recommend you try it, Your Celestial Highness. It makes for a very interesting change of pace, and on this occasion, the privilege of branding, if you will, falls entirely to you, our honored celestial guest. I have a feeling I'm not going to like this already. How does one find an imposter in the crowd? By the way they talk. By their lack of restraint. The unfamiliar delicacies overwhelm them so much that they lose control. Imposters are often scared of the responsibility that has fallen upon their weak shoulders, and they try to stay close to the real nobles and imitate their rarefied manners. During the hunt, it is most worthwhile to pay attention to separate groups where conversation has already started. A frightened imposter will probably try to hide behind other people's backs. That's all I know, Celestial Lady. Suppose I found all the imposters, what happens next? Maeve produces a shimmering slate featuring a string of fine inscriptions. This is a data brand, one of our off-world treasures. We handle it with the greatest care, and yet all of Thassera's jewels and miracles cannot compare to the resplendence of your glory, my celestial lady. When you find an impostor, you need only mark them with this wondrous brand. Analyzing. The brand is the property of the Ibex Ventris food factory. It used to mark the meat of high-protein specimens of the planet's fauna. The inscription in Proto-Gothic translates to Grox on corpse feed. Oh my god. We're literally branding the servants as part of a game for the nobles. A revelation like that puts a whole new perspective on this quaint little game. At the end of the hunt, we hold a great feast. If you guess at least one of the imposters, you will also win a fine prize. If you guess all four, there will be an even more special reward. I remember at one of the hunts, a servant played the role of a baron so well that the lords unanimously granted him favor and let him keep the title and privileges of the nobility.
Such rare things happen. But who knows what the event might bring? For tonight it is you who will determine the worthy, my celestial lady. Did you just admit that there is masquerading rabble among the Thasserian nobles, illiterate, with no idea of how to collect tithes or buy the throne? That actually explains so much. The proctor scoffs and glances at the enthusiastic guests. Go ahead, Governor. Commence your charade. The sooner we start, the sooner we finish. The governor lets out an audible gulp. It shall be done, Master Judicator. Solomon, you may ask the governor your questions. If I can amuse the esteemed Judicator with conversation, I will only be glad to do so. But of course, I have always wanted to try my hand at casual small talk. Solomon folds his arms imperiously over his chest, somehow becoming even taller in stature and broader in the shoulders. Tell me about the Laceraxes, Governor. Such fascinating creatures. Where did you get them from? I cannot tell you off the top of my head. Are there not many planets that have Laceraxes? I received these beasts a long time ago as a gift. It is well known that Laceraxes can only be found on Janus, so a connection to Janus. As we know, before our arrival, Janus was up to no good. Coincidence? The governor throws up his hands. Can they? And I was sure they were a common beastie. I might have embarrassed myself there, but I would be glad to talk about something else. Do not judge me harshly. I'm just trying to get into the festive mood as best I can. We can certainly change the subject. I would like to note that I find your youth-extending face transplant procedure amazing. Does Thassera produce any other unique knowledge or items brought over from your homeworld? What is that world called, by the way? My native Idex. Unfortunately, I have not introduced much from it beyond the art of changing faces. But perhaps the Celestial Lady has taken a liking to some of Thassera's original creations. One of them with a comms bead? I don't know. You cannot pronounce the name of your homeworld, really. The governor takes a big sip from his cup. I am a bit tipsy, so I cannot help it. On a day like today, it would be criminal not to toast such important guests. I was interested in the musical servitors. They could only have been brought to you by the Crimson Priests, correct? Can you tell me why they visited the planet? Yeah. Priesthood of Mars, of course. What? A Shrimperius wriggles free of the governor's fork and drops into his goblet. Yes, it was foreigners who delivered the mechanical musicians. I'm sure I have not mentioned them yet. I think they were the Red Robes who arrived to celebrate the ascendance of a new governor. That's me. Roldo's wistful expression follows a Shrimperius fleeing the table. Poor shrimps. Let them go. He's not the governor. Is this the hunt? Oh, this would be awesome. I hadn't thought of that until this popped up. Your answers are rather reticent and tentative, Roldo, almost as if you were merely a chance passerby and not the governor. The man's face becomes stretched to the limit on its fastenings, signaling deep offense. My celestial lady, I ask that you do not insult me so. I may not be used to having such lofty conversations, but believe me, I am definitely the governor of Thassera. I would never question your title, Governor. Solomon gives you a long look. And the rogue trader hardly wishes to offend you either. Thank you for the conversation, Governor. I have learnt everything I wanted to know.
Okay, this was very weird. Clearly he's trying to get something, but I'm confused by the whole nature of this conversation. Because he was playing along. He was being very, jovial. Just a bit odd.
Very well, I will participate in the hunt.
I'm not branding anybody, but,
Marvelous! As soon as you are done with your search, I will be...
The governor attempts to rise from the table, but gravity proves to be his superior. This brand leaves an almost invisible holographic mark on anyone it touches. Contains 4 charges. Okay. It's not permanent.
Perhaps you should stay here, my lord.
Maeve's gaze is full of genuine concern.
I fear you may be right, Maeve. I will be waiting here, surrounded by savory dishes and plentiful amasec. Have a fruitful hunt, your celestial highness. Maeve, bring me a cup of amasec, and make sure it's filled to the brim.
Comes an unexpected order from Solomon. Indeed, he is acting very odd.
It will be done, my lord adjudicator.
He's going to analyze what's in it. Solomon waits until Maeve is some distance away, then turns to you.
I wanted to talk to you about the observer they have attached to us, but without the observer they have attached to us overhearing.
He casts a sweeping glance around the courtyard and lowers his voice.
Do you get the sense that what is happening raises questions that lack coherent answers?
Something called a persecution complex? What does that even mean? I mean, I know what a persecution complex is, but I don't understand. Yeah, I'm gonna say this.
I'm uneasy as well on account of certain unusual circumstances. Which ones in particular?
Fucking everything. This is probably the most concerning. This is also concerning. The writings of Falt. It's less concerning, but could still be bad. I mean, that's also concerning.
Remember the last mutant from the public execution? Something was off about him, and it wasn't just the physical deformity. Yes, mutation is a corruption that seldom leaves a person with a sound mind. But what the mutant spouted on the scaffold, and what he had done to himself, was beyond the pale. Have you seen the writings of that madman Falt? The Chronicles of Fate? It is lunacy bordering on heresy. Not bordering. They are heresy writ large. And that is not what troubles me. What troubles me is that the madman succeeded in publishing them.
Yep.
The local beliefs. What is this tripe about altering your destiny? The God Emperor alone knows how many different cults of him there are. No 2 planets worship him in the same way. But only a heretic would wax poetic about altering a fate that was ordained by the Emperor once and for all. And the fact that there was a mutant attack during a public execution with no clear or evident cause. The attack is unlikely to have been planned. It looked too messy, shall we say. On the other hand, perhaps that's the best this backwater planet can do with when it comes to plotting and scheming. And the governor is not Thasserian, and yet he seems utterly clueless about what is happening outside this planet. Precisely. Either he has had an experience so traumatic as to cause him to altogether lose his memory, or we are being played for fools. A sculptor like Roldo is not a local, but more importantly, he is a sanctioned Psyker. His work with locally mined stone may be a harmless pursuit, or it may not be. In any event, the fact that the governor employs a sorcerer who is working on his own project is enough to raise questions.
Indeed.
The governor barely manages to stay in his saddle, which is odd for a local nobleman. Not too odd considering Roldo's ravenous fondness for food and amasec, but an astute observation nonetheless. I do not like the way the governor is using every means possible to stall our inquiry into the tithe. Indeed, at first one could mistake it for sycophancy and an attempt to appease the celestial guests, but the longer it goes on, the more apparent the criminal intent behind this stalling of the inevitable becomes.
So, what's your conclusion? A little bit clunky conversation here, I will say.
I have a theory, but I would like to hear yours first, lest my opinions influence your reasoning.
Yeah. I'm gonna probably go with this. That is an odd deduction. I'm gonna not go with that. Here we go. I don't know if they're all clumsy idiots, but the first part of this, I don't think it's something in Thassera's atmosphere. It's rather something in Thassera's crust. I would wager that this is cult. The predicaments I get into usually involve a cult of some description. Heretical cults are not the only threat by far, but there is enough heresy on Thassera either way. My hypothesis is that this is not about the tithe. That is merely a pretext to keep us here long enough. But what for? We should play along for now, let them think we've taken the bait, while we wait for an opportunity to seize control of the situation. For that, we need to agree on a signal to launch a coordinated attack. I don't think we're going to resolve all these issues peacefully. When I say lovely weather, we attack. Understood. Alright, she's back. Maeve returns, taking quick, careful steps along the paved road, a brimming goblet in her hands. Your amasec, my lord. I haven't spilt a drop. Without a word, the arbitrator hurls the drink onto the pavement. The splash of amasec is like a scarlet wound upon the stone that has been polished by 1,000 souls. Might have been a bit excessive, but if she's innocent, I feel bad. Noticing your gaze, Maeve turns to you. My celestial lady. She hesitates before continuing. They say you are the God Emperor's anointed. Have you truly seen him? Alas, no. Our God Emperor resides on Holy Terra many light centuries from here. To behold him is a privilege denied to all but a few. Maeve lets out a forlorn sigh. I wish I could see him, but I am sure his splendor is so dazzlingly bright that one glance upon his visage is enough to blind a person on the spot. Oh, pardon me. You probably wanted to ask me something, didn't you? Solomon casts a quick glance around, as if looking for someone, and then nods at you confidently. How do you find living at the governor's court? Cannot complain, my celestial lady. Lesser nobles such as myself sometimes receive punishment for angering our lords, but that is good, in a way. I think it makes me cleaner and brighter on the inside and helps me better serve the God Emperor, the holder of the key to all destinies. Maeve makes the sign of the Aquila, and turns a reverent gaze upon you. You called the Emperor the holder of the key to all destinies. Why? Forgive me if I've said something wrong, my lady. Preacher Antiochus said that the Emperor holds the key to all destinies in his celestial hand. He himself sits at the very top of the great tower of humankind, from there gazing out over the worlds and stars of his domain. He sees all, knows all, and a bloody tear rolls down his cheek when he reads our shameful thoughts and deeds in the annals of our lives. But those who strive, who do not let the seed of evil into their hearts, he will reward with a new destiny, a new life, higher and better than the one before. With the turn of his key, he unlocks the dungeon of their souls. I live in hope that one day he will come to my door. Maeve's smile is one of sad resignation. Okay, I'm starting to trust her a little bit more. I think she's just really lost and living among madmen. How fascinating. And what are you going to do when you get a better destiny? I can hope, pray earnestly, try to be virtuous and diligent, and if I manage to please the celestial lady, then maybe, just maybe, the Emperor will take notice. If she is innocent, I will try and take her out of this planet. She can come on the ship. But why did the God Emperor lock people in a dungeon? In the time of darkness, the God Emperor walled up the tower of humankind against fiends and monsters to keep it safe from evil. But evil had already planted its seeds in thousands upon thousands of human souls. He locked them in the tower, or in the dungeon of the tower, so that they might first eradicate the evil in their thoughts. All our lives we atone for our transgressions against the God Emperor, and after death we return to his judgment.
but that is our burden to bear, my lady. When I see you and realize that before me stands his anointed, one blessed by his godly hand, there is no one happier than I.
What do you think of the governor?
Oh, he is a wonderful person, so considerate and generous. Of course, his venerable age has taken its toll. He behaves oddly from time to time, but we all have our quirks, don't we?
He behaves oddly. How so?
Well, he gave me a lovely Thassera necklace just before you arrive.
Yeah.
Strange, is it not, to bestow such a treasure on someone of the lower nobility? And I also noticed that we have been conversing more of late, and it's been easier. Sometimes I think he knows me better than I know myself.
He's been talking to you more. He gave you a necklace of the weird... Can we make her take that off?
So the governor has never favored you like this before. Perhaps the appointment to escort the rogue trader also came as a surprise.
Maeve blinks in astonishment.
That is so, my lord adjudicator. I still wonder why the God Emperor saw fit to bestow such a tremendous honor upon me.
I want her to take off that necklace right now. Damn it, but I can't. Oh boy. The other mutants had Thassera coming off of them. She has a Thassera necklace. I have a bad feeling about this.
Since you are here, show me how the Thasserians entertain their nobles. What would you like me to do, celestial lady? I was taught how to dance and sing.
Okay.
Sing me your favorite song.
Maeve nods apprehensively. Oh, there's actually a little bit. You can't really hear it. With great care, she sings a passage from some local hymn about how the Emperor, who holds the key to all destinies, locked the heavens against invisible monsters and enemies of humanity. Her voice, though trembling with nerves, is surprisingly pleasant to listen to. Okay, so they might be referencing the fact when the Emperor closed the webway. This literally might be a reference to like the formation of the Golden Throne. Like, how old is this planet? Okay.
What song is that? The story of humanity's deliverance from darkness. It is sung once in moonlight as a reminder of the great deed of the God Emperor, who used the key to all destinies to lock the world away from wicked things. He walled himself up in the great tower of humankind, along with all the people. He could have ascended to the stars, but he chose to stay for our sake. Though we are unworthy, we must remember this deed.
That was delightful. Thank you. The blush erupts on Maeve's cheeks.
Thank you, celestial lady. For me, there is no greater reward than your praise.
What kind of dance can you do? Maeve closes her eyes, as if listening to music only she can hear, and begins to sway. Her dance is made up of simple movements, but the grace and ease with which she performs them add to their charm. When she comes to a stop before you with a final curtsy, her cheeks are flushed.
I hope this humble dance was worthy of your eyes, celestial lady. Teach me to dance. Let's give it a try.
Maeve smiles cheerfully.
The movements are simple. Watch, you put this foot here, and you stretch your arms out like this.
Okay. We get to do it too? With all of our, swords and guns. Completely face-obscuring helmet.
That is excellent, milady.
Thank you, Maeve.
It is a great honor to entertain the celestial lady. Last thing, tell me about Bluff the Fool. How did he win the governor's favor? He is the best among all the court servants.
Maeve looks down, but you catch fear in her eyes.
He always knew how to make the noble lords laugh. At first, Dane's jokes were just funny pranks and puns. Those were wonderful, almost impossible times. Something happened, and Dane changed, did he not? That is his name, yes? Yes, he seemed to retreat into himself all of a sudden, and he started snapping back at people, saying sarcastic, scathing things. His jokes were simple before, but now there is a nasty bite to them, and he started exploding at every little thing, and ordering me about. My own brother. Having said all this, she freezes in fear, turning white as a sheet. Apologies for my lack of restraint. For a brief moment, a deep wrinkle cuts across Solomon's forehead. So your brother is not his usual self. This world is a tangled web indeed. Look straight through her. My lady? Oh. Maeve catches herself and goes quiet. Oh. That wasn't... Maybe that wasn't so nice. Okay. Interesting. Lady in a golden mask.
Keep your wits
we
about
we gotta find a few nobles have gathered around them. An older man in a fine jacket. His eyes dart back and forth between them. I come from an honored dynasty. You can't... He keeps trying to approach someone, but they all recoil from him as if he were a leper. Lady in a golden mask. The mob's instigator, a lady in a golden mask, exclaims furiously, "Oh, listen to the songs of this poor wretch. He thinks that the bath they gave him makes him look like a nobleman." Upon noticing you, the crowd parts. In a peevish voice, the woman drawls, "We ask that our celestial lady brand this peasant." Among the hushed crowd, you single out a young woman in a half-mask, in a gorgeous dress, who is watching intently from the side. Okay. Explain to me exactly what is going on here. The lady in the golden mask curtsies gracefully. Your celestial highness, we have exposed one of the impostors. There he is. The one in the jacket, still clinging to his facade. You ought to brand him quickly. The woman who has been keeping her distance now steps closer and whispers to you. My celestial lady, I'm begging you to listen to me. This man is a member of a noble family. He's being slandered. Let's quickly look closely at the man. Nice. The old man is terrified. His hands are clutching an expensive cane bearing an intricate family coat of arms, right? Why are you standing up for him? She whispers quietly. I'm just a commoner in a fancy dress, milady. This man is my master. I know I'm supposed to be playing the part of a rich girl, but I've served many lords, you see, and Sir Timius is the only one who treats his servants with gentleness. I want to protect him from these cruel people. Very honest. Are you aware that your servant is trying to protect you, Sir Timius? The old man adjusts his mask in surprise. His eyes scan the crowd again and come to rest on the finely dressed young woman. That's Renka, my house servant. What is she? Protecting me, you say? She has no idea what game she's got herself mixed up in. Forgive me, my girl. His lip quivers as he grips his cane more tightly and breathes in deeply before suddenly taking a step back. Here she is. The real imposter. The house girl Renka. She admitted it herself to the celestial lady. Now that's mean. The old man spits and points his finger at Renka, who shrinks away in fear. How could you schemers ever think of deceiving your own supreme benefactor? Turn to the crowd. This man is a noble. Why are you so intent on painting him otherwise? The lady in the golden mask clears her throat. There is not a word of a lie in what we have said. This travesty of a nobleman was granted his privileges less than 100 years ago, a family of upstarts who have elevated themselves to peddlery. For any true-born noble, he is no different from a masquerading peasant. Ready to brand the imposter. The nobles around you hold their breath as they try to read the direction of your gaze. Handing the data brand to the servant. I call upon this young woman to make the decision in my stead. The young woman freezes and squeaks out, I obey my lady's will. Her voice suddenly calms. I know this man and can dispel all your doubts. You notice the old man breathe a sigh of relief when the data brand is put into her hands. This... finely dressed woman? This is my former house servant, Timo, dressed as a noble. He is good. but he could never fool the true nobility. The young woman deftly marks the man, who is frozen in horror, and pushes the data brand back into your hand. Vengeful sparks play in her eyes. The woman in the golden mask graces her with a patronizing nod. Interesting. The man in the jacket? Or she was trying to... Okay. This was his servant. Or this was her servant. Was it? I'm confused. Okay, I don't know what's going on. That was a little unclear.
Let us not dawdle.
Anyways. I'm sure it doesn't matter all that much. There's 4 groups of nobles that we need to... This is bloodbath still here. So what do we need to do exactly? We just go back to the governor? What if we don't want to play the game? Yeah, Gara, bad beast. Very bad. I apologize, Your Celestial Highness. How is your imposter hunt going? Gara? My darling pet. She is guarding the Shimperiuses. Every once in a while, she gets an allowance in the form of Aldecont bones. What has it done wrong? She almost ripped my finger off with a slice of Alcadont. It's my fault for forgetting their predators, albeit domesticated ones. You have reduced a beast, born to hunt and kill, to a domesticated pet. Without purpose and discipline, both man and animal alike are destined for degradation. Solomor nods at Glyto, who's completely unfazed by the multitude of delicacies. See, this is the level of obedience and dignity we should strive for. If your blade does not obey your hand, it may one day pierce your throat. Kibella's words cause the governor to shudder. What if you too are an impostor, Rualdo? Your Celestial Highness, how can you say such a thing? I have never even seen a lowborn village up close. Yeah, that figures. They are cowering down there, thank the Emperor. The governor empties another goblet brought to him by his servants. Fetch us more Amasek. Now, what are you looking at? Go, go, useless layabouts. Okay. I'm not done yet. Oh, I clicked the wrong thing, I think. I misclicked. The hunt is now over, because I had a hand spasm. Can't tell you how many times that's happened in this playthrough alone, but you know what, we're gonna roll with it. I feel like Cyrene is a little bit done with this anyways. Straining to add a note of gravity to his voice, the governor proclaims, Most radiant ladies and local lords, or noble lords, I hereby declare the imposter hunt officially over. The crowd responds with uproarious cheers. The participants of our masquerade already stand before you. Did you guess correctly? Did you expose them all? Please don your oculars and have a good look. Rualdo turns to you and whispers conspiratorially. Not one noble was permitted to hunt such impostors this time, my lady. Still, knowing their penchant for such games, I do suspect they tried to make their guesses anyway. Quietly among themselves. Had it been me in your shoes, Your Celestial Highness, I would not have guessed any of them. I dare say I would have anti-guessed. After all, even a scrub woman would look like a princess if you dressed her in silks and laces. But you are able to see through any deception. Maeve, go on and present our special gift to our celestial guest. They've received a wrathful mask. Okay, that's kind of good. Kind of cool, too. Rualdo leans towards you, slightly, gracing you with a strong smell of Amasek. And that you see more imposters before you than anticipated. Oh, sorry. And that you see more imposters before you than anticipated. That's just to add to your enjoyment, Your Celestial Highness. The crowd burns brighter, as my mother always used to say. Burns, with righteousness, of course. Fierce righteousness. Your Celestial Highness, as an honored guest of Thassera, would you like to say a few words of guidance to our beautiful world? Wait. Why are there some people here that I didn't mark with the data brand?
According to the rules, all disguised commoners must be shown to the audience in the finale, so that we know who managed to pass themselves off as a real noble. That is why there are imposters who you chose not to mark.
Roldo nervously tugs his gilded collar.
Now then, will you bestow a few parting words onto Thassera?
We stand united in our faith and our common mission to bring about humanity's victorious future. May you all toil for the indestructible fortress of the Imperium and wish for no other life, for the God Emperor is the one true path through the darkness of the universe. Glory to the Emperor. Actually, let's do this one. May you be each other's pillars of support. We shall achieve all we strive for, and we shall prevail. But only together can we do so, for there is no greater force in existence than our unity.
Hear, hear! All hail our celestial sovereign! Glory, glory!
The masks extol you, roused by your words.
That was a grand speech. Thank you.
Roldo sniffles loudly, dabbing his face with a handkerchief.
And now, good lords and ladies, the time has come to make the fateful decisions. There is not but one true reward. The highest favor that any branded impostor desires. Please, your celestial highness, tell us, is there among these people one worthy of the rogue trader's favor?
We didn't, we didn't actually, It's kind of unfortunate that we, accidentally clicked the thing. There might have been more interesting, little stories there. But, what is the highest favor, Ruoldo? Is it part of the rules of the game?
That is correct, your celestial highness. Whomever you grant your favor will be showered with all manner of honors and go to serve in the governor's palace.
I don't know if that's a good thing, to be fair. But we'll say Timaeus. He got screwed over, to be fair. Sir Timaeus, you are free to go.
Thank you, your celestial highness.
The man gives you a curt nod, and then turns with confidence and head towards the castle. What's he up to? You hear venomous laughter from among the crowd and recognize Bluff's voice. As the square drowns out the clamor and applause of gawkers who were spectating the game, you look around for the court fool, but cannot spot him anywhere.
Such is her celestial highness's brilliant decision, which for some may have been fateful indeed. And finally, the hour you have all been waiting for, the concluding of our, conclusion. The great feast.
The crowd's patience is worn thin, filling his lungs. The governor shouts,
Lacerax's dinner is served!
The Cyber Lacerax's lumens glow blood red. Before the condemned can even scream, the beast pounce upon their prey with hungry snarls. Oh boy. So that's the other three.
I've been branded. He tricks me. Gotta stop! I'm the master. Maeve, help! Maeve, I'm sorry.
Hey! That's the one we saved. Uh-oh. Ow! Where's... That was odd. What is going on here? So he completely lost control of the beasts. And he'd been branded. The governor had been branded. Alright, well, anyways, we've been ambushed, so this is happening. Unfortunately, our buddy here died. The one that jumped in for us. Which makes me sad. Okay, what are we gonna do? Kibella getting a turn would probably do some work. But we should also, since we're just kind of standing out in the open, I'm going to drop a foreboding right here.
Who, if not me?
Okay, then I will give myself
I'll see to it, personally.
forewarning. I will give Idira, wherever the hell she is. Where are you, Idira? There you are. Prescience.
I'll make it happen.
And then, honestly, I'm actually going to give Idira a turn. But first we're going to drop a front line right there. That'll hit these two. Overwhelming
It's
stratagem.
as good as done.
Kill zone stratagem. Combat locust stratagem. Alright.
On it.
Because Idira is going to do some work. Just you wait and see. Alright. So, first things first. We're going to move the burb over here.
Damn! What was the command again? Oh, right.
Okay, that's pretty funny.
Quiet, Whispers! It's my toy, and I'm gonna control it myself.
Alright. I pressed the wrong button, but that's okay. I'm sure we'll be fine. So we could lightning there, but that's going to hit the wrong target. We could lightning here. This will just hit me. We don't want to do that, so we could just lightning that one, or we could do something else. We could slash it. I have a chance of hitting, actually. Or is there something else I could do? We could do warp speed. It's going to affect Idira. Actually, it's going to affect a lot of us. We're going to do that. So we're all under the effect of this. So, good stuff. All right. We'll be right here. He's gonna ferocious roar and take a nibble on Cyrene. That's not good. I think these guys are actually fairly tough and do quite a bit of damage. Nice. Counter shotgun blast, knocking him back. Okay. Ferocity. Okay. Jai's turn. Maybe we'll actually do some momentum shenanigans here. So let's see. Air of Authority. We can't target her. She's too far away. Why? Do we need line of sight? I figured we would have line of sight, but considering it's just a table, might be that she's just out of range. Really? Within a 4-cell radius. Oh, it just has a super short range. Okay, that's fine. 10-cell radius. That's a little better.
I can do that.
An Inspire
with
up
the
there.
right incentive.
And a linchpin on her. And then I'm going to do all of this nonsense. And we're going to let
Don't get too
Kibella
cocky.
have a fun turn. And Kibella can do all kinds of fun stuff. So, you can move right over to here in the middle. No, the bird's in the middle. God damn it, bird. Get out of there. Tell you what. We'll go here. And then I'm going to jump onto this side.
Not fail.
Get some damage in. And then we're going to do this.
Caught by the web.
Fantastic. I forgot to
The
use my
shadows
other
will
abilities.
see it
That's
done.
fine. Exsanguinate.
As the tenants demand.
Okay. And then we can use Where It Hurts. And then what I would like to do is slash one of these
As on
guys.
our
So let's
old
slash that one. Kill it. It's dead. We'll jump right to here.
I shall not fail. Death is a
That one's
blessing.
dead. Beautiful. 2 down. Well, we can shoot this one with the blaster. Solid. Take aim. Target's next attack will ignore cover. I don't think we're going to be in any cover, so we'll do
I can
a
do
assign
that
objective
with
on
the right
Tagara.
incentive.
Alright, we're looking good. Solomorn's turn. Well, the dog is here, so what I'm actually going to do is do something a little different here. We're going to have the dog
One
protect
of us
Cyrene.
would be enough.
Okay. And what I am going to do then, I'm going to swap these around, is I think I'm going to Fulminating Shot. I think I'm actually going to use Grisly Adjudication.
It won't take long.
Okay, well, so much for that then. Well, that's unfortunate. We could attempt to stun it, but we don't have a great angle for that. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to run into this area right here. Right
Moving
there.
into position.
And then I'm going to attempt to do another grisly adjudication on it. Hopefully this
I'll
time
take
with
it
some
as
success.
the
There we
arbitrator
go.
judges.
Overwhelming stratagem. Great success. We can
Accepted.
rush into here and then do a shield bash as well. Oh, sorry, that was stalwart defense. Whatever, it's fine. We're going to blind it. Sensory deprivation. And what I want to do then is... So, that'll do a bit of friendly fire. I don't think we want to do that. But we can do a mind rupture. Or we could first do a dominate. No. I think we want to, I think we want to actually first do
Anything else?
this. And then we can do a mind rupture.
I feel nothing. Fear.
Okay. Exciting. Bird, fly over here.
Let's see what you can do.
Okay. Purification
Quiet, Whispers.
discharge.
It's my toy, and I'm gonna control it
Down
myself.
he goes. I was not expecting the governor to die, but here we are. Allies in a 4-cell radius gain 40 temporary wounds and 18% armor. Sure. Gonna affect a few of them, anyways. Cool stuff. Kibela! Right. Get on in there.
A dance
Let's
of
dice 'em up.
blades and shadows.
Then... Oh, okay, it's dead. So is Maeve still alive? Yeah.
What happened was no accident, and if my suspicions are correct,
The arbitrator looks at his palm thoughtfully, then holds it out to his cybermastiff.
Glyto, analyze.
The dog's visor shimmers as if it scans his skin with a mesh of rays. Finally, there is a metallic click, and the descending hum of cooling servo motors. The Proctor's augmetics respond with a soft buzz.
A data brand. The court fool put it on me when he shook my hand. Then the Laceraxes attacked everyone who had been marked. However, the beasts were not at all eager to tear you apart, rogue trader. It appears you are wanted alive, but without my protection.
Oh, God, Emperor! Maeve presses her hands to her chest in the sign of the Aquila. Her lips whisper a prayer. Forgive and protect his soul. Forgive and protect. Lying nearby is the lifeless body of Lacerax number 4, which you released from its cage. Its fur is clumped and sticky with blood. Its vicious eyes glazed over. Giving its own life to protect another was a stunningly human act for a beast. Yeah, closes. Rest in peace, little buddy.
The one with the damaged implants. Perhaps they were the reason the beast defied the Order. That the rest of its pack followed. To destroy all bearers of data brands. Or maybe...
Solomon looks pensive as he straightens Glyto's collar.
Maybe it was a fine animal that was unlucky enough to have had bad masters. This is the first creature I've met on Thassera that has been worthy of my respect.
I'm with you.
My lord Judicator is fond of animals, is he not? I never would have thought you'd had a kind side like that.
Maeve's smile is gentle and sad. For the first time ever, she looks at Solomon without fear. Aww. Solomon casts a heavy glance at the young woman.
Or maybe I just cannot stand people.
Thanks, Solomon.
Whose soul were you praying for, Maeve?
My brother's, my lady. I had a feeling he wasn't acting himself lately. If I'd known he'd fallen in with scoundrels, I would have found them and strangled them with my own hands.
Raldo mentioned being branded before he died. Can you scan him too, Solomon?
At his master's command, Glyto directs his scan rays at the dead man's severed hand, which has somehow avoided being reduced to shreds along with the rest of his body. The Cybermastiff's augmetics emit a warning signal.
Raldo was branded too. He couldn't have known, or else he would not have doomed himself like that. I assume this is likewise the work of that buffoon. The only question is whether he was acting of his own accord or at the behest of someone more important. Ruoldo called your name before he died.
I have no idea what's going on. I'm so confused.
Maeve stares at Roldo's mauled corpse with unblinking eyes.
Is this just a horrible nightmare? Could it be I'm just dreaming? For a second there I thought, no, I'm sorry, it's impossible.
You thought what?
I thought it was my brother calling my name, not Lord Roldo. But Dane wasn't there. Meaning, I just imagined it in my fright.
You think back to Roldo's last moments. It is hard to tell for certain, but it really did seem though his voice had changed. That it had sounded younger and less strained, as if he had cast off a mask. Huh. That's similar to what happened with that mutant, that somebody else was speaking, trying to speak through him. What the hell's going on here? What reason could your brother have to want to get an arbitrator's blood on his hands?
It's a mystery to me too, my celestial lady. I think about it and I can't even imagine why, but lately, it's like he's not himself. He keeps muttering these awful rhymes about blood and fate, and it's like he's waiting for something, but I can't understand what. So, who is to be considered governor now? If only I knew, my celestial lady. If only I knew.
Maeve's glistening eyes are full of shock. I'm not going to accuse her. How do I know I can trust you, Maeve?
I swear by the God Emperor himself, I am unblemished before you in spirit and thought.
That is what any cornered heretic would swear, to try and save their life.
But I really had nothing to do with it, my lord. All I was told to do was entertain our celestial guests and chaperone them to the castle for talks, and instead there's just gore and death everywhere.
I need to take a look around.
As you wish, my celestial lady.
I'm not going to assume she's part of this. Okay, Governor Rualdo, you had Synth Feed. If the wearer ends their turn with any adjacent familiar, the wearer regains 2 wounds. That's not very good. Okay. Dangerous Neighborhood. Servo Skull Swarm gains 10 Fellowship. At the start of the Overseer's turn, enemies within the Servo Skull Swarm's presence must pass a willpower resistance test. We're going to stack up Perplexed. Servo Skull Swarm's deflection is increased by 1 for each perplexed unit. I don't think I'm so concerned about that. I like the one that we have on him.
I always have a backup plan.
Damn. This was not how I expected this to go. I was not expecting the governor to get killed so quickly. Also, I feel a little bit bad for being an asshole to him. Seems like he was just an unwilling participant himself. You guys gonna let me through? Alright, anyways, I think this is a good place to end the episode. Certainly the mystery has thickened, but we now know that the Fool is behind it. I didn't really... I mean, I knew there was something sketchy about him, but... I kind of suspected him the least out of everybody. Until a certain point.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
Yeah. Alright, so the Fool is, he wants us alive. He killed the governor. It's also, like, this was part of the game. You know, I actually don't feel bad about being an asshole to the governor. I mean, this game, the 3 servants that don't get the boon get killed. As just entertainment to the nobles. So, honestly, fuck them. Yeah. Glory be. We've uncovered something, and we're gonna see it through in the next episode, hopefully. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, should have another Path of Exile episode up fairly soon, and hopefully I'll be able to get another Rogue Trader one out within a week. Righto, everybody. Drop this video a like if you've enjoyed it, and I will catch you in the next one. The Emperor protects.